Hey YouTube, it's Fairbanks Prepper here. I'm going to go ahead and finally get to that video I've been promising everyone about medical, just medical stuff, med bags, that kind of thing. I'm kind of going to go over a little bit of some cold weather stuff since today in Fairbanks, Alaska we have hit -40. Yeah, that's great. It's awesome. It's freaking cold. Just go ahead and walk into your freezer. If you have a walk-in freezer, or open your freezer, and it's probably about 10 degrees colder than that. So let's go ahead and get started. This is kind of the Alaska version of what you should have in your med kit. So since it's this cold, we kind of have a couple of things. We're going to have a space blanket here, a little survival wrap. Kind of like wrapping yourself in tin foil. It keeps you warm, bundles you up. Couple things that people don't remember about walking. Like, this is just survival stuff. This is stuff that my wife had in her car. We've packed in there. Sunglasses. If you're walking around, the sun could be glaring, and you don't want to get snow blindness. It could be a big issue. Another thing is we're still got a lot of, it's still dark a lot here. So we have some glow sticks right there, some pop them and they'll glow. Trauma shears, a little skinning knife, triangular bandages. Another thing is your skin dries out really quick up in our environment in Fairbanks. It's super dry. I usually have problems with nosebleeds just because it gets so dry in the house. So having, some lotion, it'll also, sometimes that'll keep your skin moisturized. A lot of times people forget the number one thing that you should always have, and when it's cold, and people forget to do this, is you need to drink water. Staying hydrated is going to fend off hypothermia and frostbite. If you're keeping that the tissues all well fed with water, then you're not going to have as big of a problem. We like to go ahead and bring our med bags inside because we have some sterile water used for irrigating wounds. So that's you would kind of pour that onto a wound and use that to help clean it off. We have some sunscreen. Again, you'd be surprised how fast you could actually get sunburned, just from the glare going off the snow and then hitting you in the face all day. That could, again, you're keeping, your cheeks and stuff protected a little bit by having that. Some icy hot that was in there. And then ibuprofen. I think that icy hot actually has a lot more properties than people give it credit for. We have a Sam Splint. If you don't have one of these, you might as well get one. This is pretty much in every survival kit I've seen for medical stuff. Really helps. There's 1,000,001 ways to use this thing again. It's one of those underrated things. A lot of people, I've used these myself personally in a couple situations when we were out. I think I used it on my sister to help split her knee. I think I had that and a couple of tree branches I cut to make a little splint for her knee. This right here just has, let's see if I can open it with one hand. Yep. That has some bandages and some tape and a little bit of that looks like a little stick, almost like a chapstick kind of thing, for like burns or just like a cut, scrapes, burns kind of thing. Little ointments in there, just a small little case. And again, you've probably seen that in a couple of my videos. We have so much gauze, it's ridiculous. I think this was a little overstocked at the fire department. They're going to get rid of it, and we figured why not. It's sealed and everything, so still good. A little old. This is a little old, but you know. And then you know, just your kind of your basic kind of things. This kit is, I think I bought this at Sportsman's Warehouse. You can go and buy this pretty much at your local Walmart or whatever. Go to the, you know, sports section and sporting goods section, and it's probably there. And this thing, I mean, this thing has everything in it. This is a pretty big one, but I mean, it just has a huge list of what's in there. And I actually got one of these, and it had a book in it, and it kind of was like a quick first aid trauma stuff, and it was pretty interesting to actually go through and read it. Another Alaska kind of thing, and actually, I mean, anywhere that has mosquitoes, some insect repellent. It's always nice to have. That is bear mace. This is for bears. It's got a little cap on it, so this is kind of it's just in my my kit, just because you never know. It's nice to have a little bit of something to protect you. So that is bear spray. The funniest thing about this is I used to work at a rental car service, and in Alaska, if you buy that, which is, I mean, if you're not going to carry a gun and you're going to be hiking in the woods, you might as well get that. You can't return those. You buy those, you cannot return those. They do not. They will not accept a return on bear spray. So I think I have about 20 of those because they would leave them in their cars or they would hand them out. But those work just as well on people. I mean, it's a 15 to 20 yards, depending on which way the wind is going. That'll blind you pretty good. So in here, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this. This is the med bag that the fire department has started handing out. We kind of all got together and we decided, you know, we have a lot of people going en route, you know, doing their personal vehicles. We're kind of we're a pretty small department, so and we rely heavily on volunteers. So we have trauma shears, a pen, and then in there we have a notebook, which is, it's good for you to have. You want to be able to, you know, take notes on different things. And then see, look, right there, that's another SAM splint. We got some nasal cannulas and airways here. Yeah, so those are some airways, all different sizes. And they really hooked us up with this stuff. They really went all out and got us what they could get us. This is some tape, some bandages in there. So tape and bandages, more bandages and wraps. You know, more bandages and wraps. Let's see what's in this. Oh, BP cuff. So blood pressure cuff is what's in here. So again, so we have everything to take your vitals, and taking vitals, if you don't know, is, I mean, that can tell us a lot. Right when we get there, you know, taking those vitals is good. There's a hot and cold pack is in there too. So we like to keep this inside because you know, it kind of sucks, you know, putting cold bandages on people when they're already probably cold. Using, you know, putting on cold gloves. We had a call last night and trying to put these gloves on at -40. These, you know, their medical gloves. Dude, that's about impossible. I had to stick them in my hands and like warm them up, put them in my pocket, and then put them on because they just did not want to warm up. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all they have in there. Obviously we have a rescue truck that comes along. We don't transport anybody, so we actually have another fire station that does that's contracted by the borough that'll come and do our transportation stuff, transport our patients. But anyway, this is for just, I mean, basic stuff. I mean, that's not too hard to get a hold of. We have a couple of shops that sell this kind of stuff, this kind of medical equipment. I'm sure you probably have something in your town too. I think ours is called Alaska Fire and Safety, and they have a bunch of medical stuff as well. And you can also find these med bags, and I can open up this med bag so I can set this aside here, because it's pretty see-through once you open it. But again, I've said this in a couple videos, I think, is having all this stuff is all fine and dandy, but not being able to use it, not knowing how to use it, is, that's just, that's dumb. Why do you have this stuff and you don't use it? Me and my wife decided that, we were going to volunteer at the fire department. It gives us a lot of hands-on, experience. So say the day does come that stuff hits the fan or whatever happens. It's nice to have these medical stuff. Say you get stranded somewhere. Say being able to survive and knowing medical, just basic medical needs or how to fix somebody up is definitely that makes you a lot of friends. I definitely know that when we go hunting and fishing and we meet new people, or we have a couple of friends that have hunting and fishing camps and stuff, when they find out that we work at the fire department or we volunteer at the fire department, they just go, wow, that is awesome, and we try to give them pointers. They usually end up talking to us for a while, but these packs are great. Take them out fishing, take them out on when you go camping. It's got everything that you could, want, and it tells you exactly what you need. First aid and CPR kind of just has a little booklet here, and you can run through what what your process, kind of go through what a process of, okay, what's going on? Are they choking? Are they bleeding? Did they step in something poisonous, eat something poisonous, eye injuries? All sorts of stuff. They got field trauma packs. They got gloves in here. They got all sorts of ointments and tablets and stuff. And these are all stuff. This is all stuff that you can find over the counter. This is anything like crazy, like needles or anything. If you're traveling with somebody that has, a EpiPen or anything like that, knowing how to use it in case they have a reaction is something that you learn. In some of these basic classes that you can take, whether it be a first aid class, a wilderness first aid class, an emergency technical or trauma technician, and then emergency medical technician. So ETT and EMT, like I was talking about before, they go through helping people like that. And there's going to be, more trauma shears, all sorts of stuff in there. The one thing I don't really have out here is female hygiene products, like the the pads or whatever you want to call them. Those things they will work in at the drop of a hat. I mean, those things will stop bleeding. That's for sure. I thought I had some. There might be some Quick Clot in here. I can't remember. But yeah, Quick Clot is another thing. I think my dad gave me some. He was in the military. He retired a couple years ago, but he swears by that stuff. So, yeah, this is kind of just general stuff I think you should have. This is just a kind of quick pack. This is the easiest thing you can do is go and buy this. Depending on how many people you have, they have different size kits and different price ranges. So yeah, I mean, if this helped you, go ahead and let me know. If you have any input on what I should be carrying besides this, go ahead and comment. If you have any questions for me, go ahead and ask. And if I don't know, I can find out. I have all the resources that to find out those questions. Yeah, so thank you for watching, and have a good day.